Hey gang, welcome to Bucharest. In this video I'll show you why you might wanna consider adding the Romanian capital to your bucket list. So first, we are indeed in Bucharest, not Budapest, not the Hungarian capital. Apparently quite a few people booked the wrong destination by accident. Easy mistake to make. Even Michael Jackson was once invited for a concert here. He got on stage and shouted, "It's a pleasure to be here in Budapest!" Bucharest is a beautiful city with some ugly buildings, like those ones here. It's an interesting mix between the old, the new, and this interesting architecture from the time of communism. You'd have to go behind those ugly buildings to find the beautiful old town. This church here, that's where ladies come to pray on a Tuesday. They come to pray to find a husband. That's why you see only ladies in the queue. They could pray for themselves or for their daughters to find a husband. Since 2007, Romania is part of the European Union, but they're not using the euro yet. They have their own currency called the leu. It means lion. Apparently, when the money was created, there was a bit of a debate on how they could call it, and they considered calling the currency itself Romanian. But then you'd have to say, "There'll be 3 Romanians, please," or "There'll be 200 Romanians, please." That sounded a bit dodgy, like human trafficking, really. So they called it leu. Now let's talk about food. This beautiful building, it's a restaurant called Hanu Lui Manuk. It used to be an inn where you'd stop, if you were a merchant going from, let's say, Vienna to Constantinople, you'd stop in here. Today it's a beautiful restaurant where you can try a lot of the traditional foods. Romanian food is great, but probably not ideal if you are a vegan. There's a lot of pork. Those are sarmale. They are cabbage rolls with pork inside. There's a lot of pork in the Romanian cuisine because for many decades, the Romanians had to pay a tribute to the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman, being Muslims, they did not want pork. Neither did they want corn for some reason. So that's why you have a lot of polenta in the food as well. Pretty much whatever you have, it comes with polenta. You also find a great variety of beers here. Even if you are into IPA or craft beers, you'll find quite a few of those. And of course, you've got local snacks as well. Some of them are made with corn as well, like those little puffy corn things, because again, the Ottoman didn't want the corn. Now, Bucharest was also known as Little Paris, or the Paris of the East. We've got the Arc de Triomphe, like in Paris, and quite a few buildings have been inspired by the French capital. Even the language, they say merci and they say salut when saying hello, so you could think you are in France for a moment. And in the old town, you'll find a lot of super cute street cats. Now, Bucharest also used to have a lot of stray dogs, but apparently the authorities have tried to reduce the numbers. During the communist period, sadly, a lot of neighborhoods had been deserted. People had to abandon their homes. And very sadly, some have left their dogs behind. So that could be why there were a lot of stray dogs after that. Some of the beautiful churches are slightly hidden by those communist blocks. That is fully intentional. The communist authorities were trying to stop people going to church. Today, about 87% of the population is Orthodox. So at the moment, Romania is part of the EU, but it's not yet part of the Schengen zone. So basically, you would still have to go through border control. If you are from the EU yourself, you don't need a passport. You could come with an ID, but you still have to show your documents. Now, in terms of the origins of the names, Bucharest, we are not 100% sure. Some say that it comes from City of Joy, although it's more likely to come from Shepherd's City. This is the Dambovista River. It's an arm of the Danube, although it was moved. When they kind of redesigned the city, Nicolae Ceausescu wanted the city to look like the European capitals, like Paris with a river. So they've literally moved this arm of the river. Let's have a look at the Parliament building. The fountain here, it's named after Vlad Tzepes. You might know who that is. That is the gentleman that is known to have inspired Count Dracula. The Palace of Parliament, it's one of the largest buildings in the world, and it's definitely the heaviest building in the world. It was designed again under Nicolae Ceausescu, that was the communist leader, dictator really. It used to be called the People's Place, which is kind of ironic really, because in terms of the communist time, there were a lot of restrictions on short in food, on electricity, and definitely not the best time for the people. Now, I know it might look like an amazingly secured building. Not necessarily the case. We had a tourist that managed to get in. He was drunk and he believed it was his hotel, and he slept in there. Parliament has 9 levels underground, and apparently the building is so heavy that it's kind of seeping down into the ground a few millimeters every year. And there's a lot of gossip about what might be hidden in that huge basement. Maybe Vlad's body, aka Dracula. In the old town, you'll come across that beautiful little Greek monastery. The style is Romanian and Byzantine. It's the monastery of Stavropoleos. The inside is cute, but the outside is amazing. The little garden graveyard, it looks like a movie set, really. If you go to Bucharest, make sure you visit some of its beautiful parks. This is Sismigiu Park. This interesting monument might look like a potato on a stick, but it's the monument to the revolution. On 25th of December 1989, when the rest of us were eating turkey and watching Home Alone, not sure Home Alone was out yet, it probably came out a few years later. Anyway, the rest of us were celebrating Christmas. Romanian people were watching live on television the execution of Nicolae Ceausescu and his wife Elena. Now you might wonder, why did they execute his wife as well? Well, she was as bad as him, really. To give you an example, when they designed the new underground system, the metro system, Ceausescu wanted to have a go at designing it himself. And when Elena saw that they planned a stop by the University of Economics, she said, no, those students, they got fat, they need to walk. So they couldn't build the station, but apparently the builders, they knew that one day the station was going to have to be designed, so they got it ready underground. After those hard times of communism, Romania had to slowly reinvent itself. Still today, some people believe that Romania is a very poor country, full of gypsies. Not the case. Gypsies are about 3% of the population, and Romania is an amazing rising economy. Recently, Bucharest has become a tech hub, and it has attracted a lot of foreign investments. It is a great city for companies to set up because the rents are still fairly affordable. The average salary has gone up from 400 euros a month to 1,200 euros a month. This is the beautiful monument to the Holocaust, by the way. Not the most beautiful monument from the outside, but from the inside it's quite poignant. It was inaugurated in 2009. Of course, because of its connection with Vlad the Impaler, Romania does attract quite a few dark tourists, so you might spot some bloody souvenirs. Now, if you don't know about Vlad the Impaler, do check my video of Transylvania. We often associate Vlad the Impaler with Transylvania, but he actually lived here in Bucharest. And I didn't even tell you why the country is called Romania. 2,000 years ago, it was known as Dacia. Like the cars. You might know the cars Dacia, the Romanian cars. But the Roman Empire came all the way here. That's how it got named Romania. The Roman left fairly quickly, but the language today is still a Latin language. The country used to be divided in 3 principalities: Wallachia, Moldavia, and Transylvania. Now, personally, I really enjoyed my time in Bucharest, so I highly recommend you visiting if you get a chance. Now, if you're watching this video and you happen to be a local, if you have some recommendations of places that I have not visited in my trip, feel free to put them down in the comments. For me, when I come back, or for anyone watching this video. It's always great to get some suggestions. Or if I've butchered any of the names and you wanna let me know, feel free to let me know as well. And if you've made it that far into the video, you might wanna consider subscribing. Bye!